We've all had those days where we can't seem to do anything right. You know what I'm talking about. The ones where we find ourselves dropping everything we touch and tripping over our own 2 feet. It's just one of those things humans have to deal with, but sometimes people are caught doing things that completely defy common sense. These are the people who do things which are so outrageous you can't help but laugh. Let's get it on. Sometimes you find yourself hoping that someone's short-sighted just so there's some way to explain what they've just done. There's nothing wrong with practicing your golf swing in the comfort of your own home, obviously, but how did he not notice his neighbor's car parked right in front of him on the other side of the street? I mean, what did he think would happen? Any normal person would have seen that coming from a mile off. People cut down trees all the time. We've several tried and tested methods for doing this as easily as possible and with minimal damage. And not one of those methods includes trying to pull a tree over with your car. And still, this truck owner decided that was his best option.
That escalated quickly.
Even the dog had one look and realized he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. You gotta feel sorry for the truck. You just know it had no say, but it's the one that had to suffer. A good salesman is every business's dream, but a rare thing to come across. Get yourself someone who can sell effectively and you've got it made no matter what your business is. Just think of all the money that'll start rolling in after this guy's done showing the world how strong these pipes are. Just try to ignore all the money lost when the glass display case shattered because your salesman hung 2 cinder blocks above it. Wait, why were there cinder blocks hanging from the ceiling? Like I said, probably best not to think about it. I've always said it's good to get excited sometimes, like when you achieve something or maybe even if you won the lottery. But if you're walking over a bridge with gaps in it while wearing dinosaur slippers, it's probably a bad idea to start showing off and waving your arms in the air. Just watch where you're going before you do anything.
It was at this moment that he knew. He f***ed up.
The universe doesn't like anyone to be that pleased with themselves, so if something's going to go wrong, it definitely will. And your dinosaur slippers won't look so cool dangling into the abyss. Not that they were ever cool to start with. You can never really be sure about the kind of service you're going to get when calling someone new. You might just be getting that guy who lied on his resume and actually has no experience doing what you need him to do. Then again, maybe this guy should have questioned where that hook was going when he saw it being attached to the hood of the car. No, it's not an interesting new technique. It's just there to cement that call to your insurance company which you were still debating in your head. The modern world is built on innovation. Our everyday lives are constantly made easier by a few good ideas. You can never predict who the genius is that's going to come up with the next great concept. It might just be this guy. He stuck his blender cup onto a drill and filled it with an unknown liquid. As I said, you never know. This might be the next ingenious appliance. Or not. Probably the latter. The seaside is where people go to spend a nice day out in the sun and relax. But anyone who grew up near the ocean knows one thing for certain. Never play with seagulls. They're not your friends. So many things could have gone wrong for this guy, and he doesn't even know it. I'd say he was actually lucky since that's all that went wrong. After all, his nose is at least still intact. The seagulls must have taken pity on him. There's nothing more satisfying to watch than a really creative engagement. There are so many little details that you can add to create the perfect moment. This guy definitely got the setting right. A boat at sunset is just perfect, but it's a little bland. You could really spice up this moment with a creative ring delivery. Oh, no, that's not what I meant. Who just throws an engagement ring across a boat? I guess at least it can't be called bland anymore. The #1 rule of driving is always keep your eyes on the road. That's about as basic as it gets. So why would anyone ignore the huge pile of snow on their windshield before getting in their car? This person not only neglected to clear the snow, they then also pulled out onto a huge highway without being able to see. I hate to say it, but I don't think that squeegee is going to save you, dude, especially not from all the other drivers watching. It's good practice to respect nature. After all, it's wild, and it definitely is out to get you. You'll be fine if you're nice to the animals and don't taunt them, though. Sure, fish look pretty calm, but they're not. No animals are. If you go looking for trouble, you're going to find it. And here's a bonus tip. It's not the animals that your friends are going to be laughing at when whatever you're messing with takes its revenge. We've all had a moment in the past that left us with more questions than answers. I'm about to show you another one.
My question is, what the hell?
Have a look at this guy picking up a big rock. Okay, he's breaking the ice. But why did the ice need to be broken? Why did he do it over a river? Why stand on the wrong side? None of this makes sense. The only thing I know for sure is this guy isn't from this place. He has no idea how to handle ice and snow. Hiking is one of those pastimes where a bit of experience can really go a long way. Even if you're only walking what looks like the easiest path in the world, you have to wonder why these few people are crab walking past the puddle when there's a path on the other side of the rope. After all, one false step,
Oh, no.
and you're ankle deep in water, or up to your neck, depending on just how unlucky you are that day. There are all sorts of brilliant problem-solving ideas in this world. You see them all the time. Ordinary people working out amazing ways to make their lives easier. Unfortunately, this was not one of those ideas. But that won't surprise you. Literally everyone can see that this won't work, except that one guy on the ground who's insisting that it's going to be great. We all know what happens next. Maybe try a ramp next time. They've existed for years for a reason, you know. The police are meant to be society's voice of authority. They provide the law and order we need so we don't all slip into chaos. So good policemen really do need to look like they're in control. It would be best for them if they didn't, I don't know, get stuck in quicksand, for example. You gotta wonder how long this had been going on before anyone noticed or even tried to help. So much for all the authority. It's always good to do a bit of reading before you visit an unusual place. You just never know what kind of hidden secrets it has that can make you look silly in front of your friends. This high-tech glass bridge in China can create fake cracks in itself as you walk along it. If this guy had known that, he could have avoided this hilarious episode. The bridge is perfectly safe, but hanging on the railings like that probably isn't the best idea. Sometimes an accident really isn't your fault. The universe just feels like laughing at you. Really, nothing should have gone wrong in this scenario. She's just feeding the fish, but you just never can tell what kind of mood a fish is in. This one didn't like her much, but definitely did want her offering, and the rest is just bad luck. The fish got a little more than they were expecting, too. Shame they don't have any fingers to work the touchscreen. Tree felling is usually done by a team of professionals. Most people recognize that there's a reason for that. This guy didn't. He's clearly one of those few who insists he can do everything himself, and way better than the pros. Only, that's not true, is it? I can't help but think that it's his neighbor's house that's destroyed because of his tree cutting skills. Good luck fixing that nightmare. I'm guessing he hasn't found his new calling. If there's one universal truth in the world, it's that locals don't like tourists. It doesn't matter if you've been a tourist before, when another tourist suddenly shows up in your neck of the woods, you're always going to feel superior. So it's a good idea to respect not only local customs, but also boundaries when you're visiting somewhere, especially if it's a literal physical boundary. Locals are looking for opportunities to ruin your holiday. Don't give them a good excuse. Artists slave away for hours to create the perfect picture. It's a painstaking and exhausting process no matter the medium of choice. This particular artwork was created with carefully arranged Rubik's Cubes, all rotated in exactly the right way and stacked on top of each other. Not glued down, just stacked. It's not really the sort of thing you want to move around too much, as you can see. Oh well, there's more where that came from, right?